All right, can everyone hear us here? All right, so sorry about that gap in time there. We are live here. We are here with George, who is playing Ort, who has just returned back to Icemorr City. Now that you've arrived back in Icemorr City, there's been quite a bit of a gap in time for us here on the stream. So let's give the viewers a brief description of Ort and where it is Ort's mindset is at right now.
Well, Ort's a man out of time. He got frozen. He got frozen. I think petrified, more exactly, back in the day when Icemorr wasn't a.
Sorry about that. Animal problems. All right, so let's go back into the discussion that we were having. Help us find the mindset of Ort and how he's feeling right now, returning to a major city.
Well, he's lost. He's in a major city that didn't used to exist, on a continent that used to be radically different, surrounded by people he's never met, and he's not really sure what he's doing with himself.
Fair enough. So as you arrive into the city, you notice that there is a couple things about the city that kind of stands off as being weird to you. One, there are these guards walking around. They look like living suits of armor. They're not humans. They are not. No one's wearing the armor per se. It's very off-putting to you. They are able to hold conversations, and they seem to have facial features and facial, reactions. But there's about 40 of them wandering around the city in various guard capacities.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing you notice is near the northern side of the city, near the Mage Quarter, there is a very large platform that has been built by the mages, and on this platform is a teleportation circle, and people are appearing on it and stepping onto it and going places constantly. It's almost like the medieval subway. It's very confusing to you.
Hopefully less crowded and dirty.
Yes, hopefully.
All right. So as far as the humanoid suits of armor, because as an armor artificer, I find this to be an interesting line of technological development. What role would it be to figure out what they are?
I'm going to give you the choice of either history, arcana. Actually, no, it wouldn't be history because of how old you are. They didn't exist back then.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to say arcana. I will allow you to do arcana trained or untrained.
I'm trained in arcana, so...
So the DC will be a little bit lower.
Alright. That is an 8 on the die, plus 5 intelligence. is 13 plus proficiency bonus, which is 4 at this point, which is 17. So yeah, 17.
Awesome. So with that being the case, you are aware that they are metal and wood bodies, but there's a spirit in them. They're sentient in and of themselves. They're not programmed in any way.
Okay, so they're not golems or automatons. They're individuals.
They are individuals.
Okay.
Which is probably even more confusing to you.
Well, I mean, a suit of armor endowed with a sentience, because for armor artificers, why do I have trouble saying that?
It's probably the A's and the R's in both words.
That must be it. Or maybe I just haven't had enough coffee yet. But specifically, the crunch says that that your armor itself will take the place of while you're attuned to it, will effectively replace missing limbs. So this is almost like
full body replacement.
It's Magic RoboCop, basically.
Yeah.
With all the it's a sort of a manifestation of an armor, only with all the squishy bits cut out.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
So now another bit of information after watching them from a distance. I'm assuming you're not walking up to them, poking and prodding them.
No, I'm just.
So while observing them, I'll let you do a perception check, and you're kind of a little bit curious about what they're made out of. And I will say that you're 100% sure that they are not made out of your average steel or iron.
Which is too bad, because that's easy to come by.
11.
11. You're not 100% sure of what they're made out of, but they're definitely not steel or iron. The metal itself has a bit of a darker gray color, and they don't appear to be encumbered when they walk, and they're not walking with very heavy footsteps like you think they would if someone would be walking in full plate. You do notice they seem to be very methodical in their job. They're very heavy on security, so if they walk by something that looks weird, they seem to investigate it very thoroughly. And the other thing about them that kind of stands out to you is you see them looking at each other from time to time, and they just stare into each other's eyes, and then there will be reactions from each of them in one way or another, almost like they're communicating telepathically, and then they'll go back to what they're doing, kind of like they're checking in with each other. And then you see the town guard that's walking around, various different types of armor depending on what kind of job they're doing. Street patrol, light to medium armor, spear, the normal city guard. On the wall, probably fully decked out. At the gate, definitely fully decked out. But they're all wearing the same colors. They're all wearing a green under uniform, and they're wearing a white tabard with a green symbol for Icemorr. And it's almost like there is an invisible field around the city, because inside of here it's almost like fall. It's still kind of chilly.
Is there snow on the ground?
In places on the edge of the town, there's definitely a lot of snow. But when you leave the city, it's like then you step back into Icemorr. It's very cold. It's very Antarctica feeling. So what is it that you would like to do at this point?
All right, I will engage my boots of flying, and I will fly up. I want to get a view of this. I want to get a view of the city from above.
A view of the city from above. So, I am going to have to pull up. Yeah. So For those of you that follow us on Discord, there is a picture of the city as it changed in between the time when they were adventuring and they hit that time distortion and when they returned. So if you'll refer to Discord, that is what you see from an aerial view.
Okay.
That is the city that you see.
Okay, so it hasn't updated since then?
Nope.
Okay.
You guys just got back, and this is the changes that have happened.
Alright.
Currently, just yesterday, which would have been the last day that we roleplayed, you guys would have met with the prince and a couple members of the guild. And so his airship is still in dock. He's due to leave in a couple of days.
But I understand they're still sorting out that thing with the Fae, so I'm gonna have to stay away from that without involving the other players.
Yes, that is a situation that Sonny is definitely going to want to be dealing with himself.
And I'm pretty sure I left because I wasn't involved with that whole thing. So.
You did.
Okay. So I'm gonna do a aerial pass around the city.
Okay.
See if anything bothers me.
Give me a perception.
13 plus 6 is 19.
19.
Yeah.
And then give me an investigation.
Ooh. I don't have that trained, but I am intelligent, so 21.
21. So with your perception, you notice that the guards are extremely vigilant. They all seem to kind of notice that there's someone flying around, and a couple guards on the wall actually kind of ready their bow, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, all right,
It's a bird. It's a plane.
Yeah, but it's like they ready themselves just in case. But with your investigation, you do notice a couple of things. If you look at the map of Icemorr City, there is very clearly a few things that stand out. To the to the southwest of the city, there is a large chunk of land that has been dedicated to farmland, and there's a couple large buildings. That is where the giant Nick is currently living, and that's kind of his domain. He also shares that area with the druids that are raising the animals of a special variety, other than like cows and horses and stuff. So that kind of stands out to you, but you don't see the light dragon that you've heard about, because when they first came here, they came with a light dragon, but you don't see it. And you don't see a lair or anything, like no cave entrance or anything. And then you notice near the main industrial area where all of the keeps are at and all of the family houses are located, you do notice something that's very obvious. Out of all of the noble families that live and operate and control Icemorr, the Voss family castle overshadows everything. It is probably 3 or 4 times larger than any of the other estates, by a long shot. And just as a reminder, that is the Drow family, led by Lana Voss.
Yes, but I don't know that, so...
Yes, I'm saying that for the viewers.
Okay, so...
But you do notice that there is some flags flying over there. So above, on the top flag, is the flag for Icemorr. And then directly below that is the Voss family flag, which is basically... think of a spider with its legs outstretched like this, and behind it there is a laurel wreath. But the flag itself is black, and the rest of the symbology is all silver.
Okay.
So that is what you notice.
Can I do an intelligence check to see if that would if I figure out that that's Dro?
Sure.
Okay. So straight intelligence?
Yeah.
22.
Yeah, And when you fly a little closer and you see the guards that are walking around and the people that are mingling around, you're 100% sure that that's Drow.
So yeah, I'm going to stay away from that. Well, you know what they say, a drow that's found dead with a knife in his back is considered to have died of natural causes.
I'm sure I'm going to get comments about that. So, as you're flying around, you notice the estate that belongs to the warden, which is kind of where the group kind of congregates. That's what is being viewed on the table. I'll kind of...
It's the Swiss chalet type deal, right?
Yes, there we go. This is what they're looking at. This is the area that is owned and controlled by the Warden of the North. Or, excuse me. A little bit of Game of Thrones just jumped in there, sorry about that. The Warden of Icemorr.
As long as you avoid the battle eunuchs, we're okay. So has Hunter's character retained the role of Warden of Icemorr since we were gone for a while, or did it get passed on to someone else?
So I will, for our viewers, since you asked, I will go over the list of positions for the board. Currently, Sonny is the chairman of the board. The vice chair is Andrew Hammerfall. The secretary is still Vecca Morris, the lore bard. The treasurer is still Lorena Zor, Kitsune. The justicar is still Elizabeth Velros, and the warden of Icemorr is still Belong.
Okay.
However, since you have been gone, a clear shift in power has happened. You less than others might not notice it, but the Voss family clearly have their fingers in everything. The only things they don't have their fingers in is the docks, about 50% of the merchant stuff that's going on, and the treasury, and finances like the banks. The other noble families are just kind of there and kind of supporting and keeping to themselves and just kind of doing their own thing around Icemorr. The Zor family, however, primarily stick to the financial district, and they control all of the commerce, the trade, both of it coming through imports and export. So over the time that the group has been gone, there are ships that are coming back and forth a little bit quicker now that the path is being patrolled by ships. So it's a little more dangerous for things that go bump in the water to really attack ships, because they're with escort ships now. So, but with that being the case, what would you like to do next, sir?
Is there a bar?
There are a few bars. The biggest bar and the most well-established bar is called the Cyclone.
Okay.
It is a large tavern that is in the center of the city near the it's kind of in between the trade, noble family, and merchant district, so it's kind of a hot spot for a lot of different culture.
Okay. I will head down there and let's see. I will land at the entrance of the bar and retract my armor.
Okay, your armor retracts without issue.
Yeah. And my left hand down to about here has been replaced with a brass prosthetic.
Okay.
So I will head into the bar.
So as you head into the bar, you see a dwarven man behind the counter that appears to be using a soapbox or some kind of step ladder, or maybe the floor is a little higher back there. You're not sure, but you can see about here up on him from behind the bar, which is abnormal for dwarves. And he looks at you, and you notice the place is kind of buzzing right now, and people are in for their for their lunchtime sips and, you know, a little bit of entertainment. There's a couple bards playing over in the corner. You do notice one thing that kind of stands out to you. There is a female tiefling. She has red skin, a tail, very beautiful, symmetrical horns, very well dressed. She has a very beautiful, ornate violin, and she appears to be dancing and playing the violin and grabbing the attention of a lot of people, to be quite frank. And a lot of the servers at times even stop and listen for a minute and then go back to what they're doing. So I'm going to need you to make a wisdom save.
Which I can actually do since I took resilience. That is going to be a 25.
You are not completely overwhelmed by the music and captivated, but I will tell you, you are highly impressed. The music is beautiful, and you feel calm, less anxious than you were when you first came in.
Okay.
And the bartender looks at you.
Good morning. Looking at you.
What do you got?
It's Icemorr. It's a major port now. We have whatever you want.
Something that won't knock me on my ass. I've noticed that you people have discovered new methods of strengthening spirits since my time.
You people? You mean dwarves?
No, I mean people from now.
Oh. Wait. What? Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from Dran, but I was petrified for a few hundred years.
He scratches his hair, his head, and he's like,
Okay.
He reaches back behind the bar and he grabs a bottle and he'll put it on the counter. It looks like an elven-ish looking wine bottle, and then he'll grab another bottle and put it, and it's clear. It looks like it's made out of crystal, and it's got an amber-colored liquid in it. And he goes,
Rough, but effective. Sweet and savory. A little slower on the uptake.
How's the hangover on both of them?
Drank plenty of fluid. Migraine.
I'll take a bottle of drink plenty of fluid. What'll that cost me?
he reaches behind the bar, he grabs a bottle and pops the cork for you, hands you the cork, the bottle, and a glass, and he says, 5 gold pieces, please.
I will pass across 5 gold pieces and mage hand the bottle to me. Save the glass. Let's take a swig.
So, give me a wisdom save.
Wisdom, okay. 14?
14. You enjoy the flavor, but the bitter aftertaste at first bothers you. You think maybe after a couple glasses.
Okay.
You think maybe after a couple glasses you'll get the hang of it.
Okay.
But I know you as George don't drink a lot of wine, but there's that bitter aftertaste that kind of lingers there for a while.
Sort of vinegary flavor?
Yeah,
okay.
And it goes away after like the first glass, so
okay.
Eventually it'll fade.
Okay.
So that's what the wisdom save is for.
Okay.
So as you get into your second glass, you notice that there's a little bit of warmth in your cheeks. Your throat has your tummy is a little warm. It's definitely doing its job.
Okay.
At this point in time, when you're about quantity-wise into your second cup, you need to give me a Constitution save.
12.
Okay. So you are definitely relaxed, and you are definitely
Feeling it?
feeling buzzed, but you're
Okay.
not drunk yet.
Okay.
The music of the bard continues to be played and will kind of drift you off into a state of relaxation. And when you get about your third or fourth cup in quantity wise, one of the barmaids brings over a cup of water for you and just sets it down. And the music starts to kind of ramp up. Like the performance started with like something mild, and now it's more like there's an epic I'm having trouble with the word. What is it called? Like she's going into an epic concert at this point.
Okay.
There is a massive surge of energy that goes through the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point in time, I'm going to need you to give me another wisdom save.
25.
25. So you are still not completely overwhelmed by it,
Mm-hmm.
but because of the alcohol, you're much more focused in on it.
Mm-hmm. Television.
Yeah, you kind of tunnel in on her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, while this is happening, you notice people are coming and going and things like that.
Can I do an Arcana check to see if the music is somehow supernatural?
You can.
Okay. 15 plus 5 is 20, plus 4, 24.
So you do feel like there is something behind her, that, not literally behind her, but there's something behind what
Something
she's
fueling
doing
her.
that's fueling her, that's giving her inspiration.
Okay.
And you're definitely drawn to the violin. The violin is definitely doing way more work than it should be doing. But there isn't anything that's imposing on anyone, if that makes sense.
Okay, it's sort of an ambient effect as opposed to...
Yes. It is not directly trying to force someone to feel a way. It's
Mhm.
more like it's just really amplified.
Alright.
So with that being the case, you're about almost done with that bottle.
Okay.
After about an hour and a half. And this particular bard is done on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
And you see 3 or 4 guards with her. Her guards, not city guards, but
Private security.
yeah, they'll gather up all of her tips and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
and then she'll disappear back behind the stage and she'll go away. A different bard will come up and start telling jokes, and people just go back to what they were doing, like, who the fuck is this guy? It's really, you get the feeling it's really hard to follow her.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they tend to focus more on what it is that they were doing.
Okay.
So, what is it next that you would like to do?
Am I done with the bottle yet or no?
Yeah, you're about done with it. You could very easily take the last couple of sips.
Alright, I'll knock back the last couple. I'll knock back what's left in the bottle and head out to go down to the docks.
So you knock back the last couple of sips and put the bottle down and then head out. As you start walking down toward the docks, you notice that you're heading past the dock master's building,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of argument going on in there. There's like words like slavery, horrible person, how dare you, it's my business, Like there's an argument going on in that building that you feel like it's pertaining to the situation that you walked away from
Oh.
a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
And there are guards there preventing people from going in.
Okay.
But you do make it to the dock.
All right.
So at the dock right now, there are 2 ships in dock and an airship floating just barely above the water.
That's the Prince's Airship, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And you can tell that based on the sails that have the seal for the prince on it,
Uh-huh.
and the Imperial Guard standing at the dock.
Mm-hmm. So, what are the other 2 ships?
The other 2, one is a merchant ship. It is a merchant ship by the name of the Spellslinger. Bless you. Thank you. And the other one is a escort vessel by the name of Varen.
Mm-hmm.
And they're offloading cargo, loading up cargo. Passengers are coming and going.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm going to.
There is a dock master, you know, like there's a podium in the middle where all the traffic comes and goes from the person who supervises the docks.
Mhm.
There is someone standing there with a very large tome,
Mhm.
and people are talking. Okay, all right, yep, unload it, send it to warehouse 4. You know, you do notice that it is a well-dressed goblin.
Mm-hmm. I will get in line to talk to him.
It's very, very quick.
Okay.
Most people are like, all right, I got this this pallet of stuff from the ship. Where do I take it?
Mhm.
Okay, take it to warehouse 4. Oh, that belongs to the general goods store. Go ahead and deliver that behind the general goods store. So, what can I do for you?
Who's the most powerful? Who's the most powerful mage in town?
He'll look up at you, kind of pull his glasses down on his nose. You must not be from around here.
That's a fair assessment.
Uh-huh. The most powerful mage around. And are you referring to other than the founders? Because the founders are quite strong, you know.
The founders being the original adventurers who blazed the trail for this colony.
Yes. Well, you see, Alvain is probably the strongest nature caster. Nocturne is probably by far the strongest arcane caster, but he's
He's too focused on pies to do this, to do the kind of work that I need.
he'll chuckle. Well, yeah, you do have him there, son. You do have him there. So are you looking for arcane, or are you looking for divine?
Let's start with arcane.
Okay. So that would probably be the newest. Well, he says, oh, it's a really touchy situation. So there is a. Let me see, how do I tell you this?
With your mouth.
You've got quite the mouth on you, sir, for someone new to town.
I'm sorry. I've never been a charmer.
Well, you attract far more things with honey than you do with vinegar.
Depends on what you're attracting. But
Okay. Look here, mister. I have a lot of things to do, so if you're going to bother me for a show and tell, at least do me the courtesy of being respectful.
I'll nod.
Okay. So the most powerful caster
Mhm.
would be Jacob. It's an abjuration wizard.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for a fortune teller, Madame Kello, They're both located. They both stay over at the Warden's Manor.
All right.
Now there is another person that just came into town. She's also a warlock. She was here once before during the founding, but it's completely up to you what you're looking for. My time isn't free, sir.
All right. I'll drop him 5 gold pieces, and let's see. Go like this. Armor sprouts back onto me. I'll take off.
Okay. Your armor will sprout back onto you. You take off. Where are you flying to?
Warden's Manor.
You fly over to the Warden's Manor. You land. You see a couple of guards are out there, but most of the guards have been told that you're okay. You know, you were with the group. So you walk in. You see a secretary. Can I help you?
I'm looking for Jacob and/or Madame Calla, depending on who's available.
Ah, I see. Gotta break my dice out now.
I mean, hey, you've been having me roll this whole time. Only seems fair.
Jacob is currently dealing with matter of city security. Madame Callow, however, is available.
All right. How much to talk to her?
She doesn't charge for you to talk to her.
Oh, okay. That's convenient.
Her office is the second on the left, down that major hallway.
All right. I will retract my armor, walk down to the office, knock on the door with my.
As you're walking through the main common room, you do notice a couple of things. There is like 30 or 40 people waiting to speak with the warden. One of which is the prince. You see him sitting in a chair with 2 guards next to him in a room. Excuse me.
Bless you.
I apologize. Thank you. You see him sitting with 2 guards, just like everybody else. And as you are walking down the hallway, the door opens and you see Balaam sitting behind this big massive desk with runes and symbols drawn all over it. And you see someone leaving and another person going in, and the door closes.
Before the door closes, prestidigitation. I'll throw the smell of asparagus in there.
Kind of looks around. Kind of goes like this and grabs some perfume and kind of sprays it near the chair, thinking the person who left had some bit of a crotch aroma that they left on the chair.
Yeah.
You knock on the door. Before your knuckles touch the door opens. And you'll see 40 or 50 pillows, very large pillows, all around this circular table that's maybe about 5 feet wide in circumference. And on the other side of it, you see this older woman, very gypsy-esque looking, and you see she has a little bowl next to her that has some bones in it. She has a deck of cards in front of her. She has a crystal ball in front of her, and off to the right she has a couple candles and some incense burning. And she goes, Art, please sit down.
Art?
Huh? Did I do a oops?
Ort.
Ort?
Well, is that in character? Did she get my name wrong, or?
No.
Okay.
She says, Ort,
All right.
please have a seat.
I'll sit down on one of the pillows.
The door closes behind you. It's very comfortable. As soon as you sit down, you feel like you're in one of your family members' houses. Like you're very comfortable.
All right.
Abnormally comfortable.
Can I do an Arcana check to see if there's some kind of supernatural influence here?
Oh, there definitely is. You don't even need to roll.
Okay.
You're not sure if it's her presence or if it's the pillows
Or possibly the incense.
or the incense. What can I do for you?
Well, you knew I was coming, so do I need to go through the whole explanation of why I'm here, or have you already foreseen it so we can just skip it? Or would that create problems with causality?
I see into many different realities, many different outcomes, based on things that you do and say as time goes. Your destiny is always changing. So until you ask something specific, I cannot give an accurate answer.
So,
I can assume what you're here for, and I have a good idea, but you could also ask something completely different. That is the true nature of free will. Free will stands outside of time.
So, alright. So,
Before we get too far into this, can you grab the Harrow deck over there, please?
okay.
Just because I'm kind of trapped here.
Alright, I'll take care of it.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
Harrow.
Alright. Let me see if I've got my...
So while we're having a bit of a break here, just so everyone knows, Rob, aka Nocturne, will be doing the same thing that George is doing here around 3 o'clock today. So make sure you guys tune in for that. That should be a hoot in the hand. So, all right. So, what is your question?
Well, a couple questions actually. First, when am I?
Well, you were in the first age of Anarria.
Oh, okay, better question. How long have I been gone?
700 years.
That is, that's a long time.
That it is.
Let's see. So being here in the first age, 700 years out of time. What would you say are my odds of are my odds of getting back to when I was? Or would that create causality problems?
You would like to return to your situation where you were frozen in time?
No, I'd like to return before that, and
Then you need to seek out a chronomancer.
and I don't suppose you have one of those in your back pocket?
She chuckles. I have many things, dear, but a chronomancer in my back pocket is not one of them.
Okay.
If you are looking for someone, let me seek the cards. Ah, the Winged Serpent. She says, if you are seeking to go back in time to your original time, there is only one chronomancer strong enough to do that. His name is Faustus. He is currently the Archmage who runs and controls Icemorr, the Mages Association.
That's pretty far off the beaten track, at least for me.
That's the strongest chronomancer that I know of.
What resources are available here in town in order to start learning time magic?
Nothing that I know of.
Alright.
You see, the Ice Queen has very unique spells cast on this continent.
Mm-hmm.
Things that change your location, alter reality, time, dimensional jumping, things of that nature, usually have a very negative outcome here.
So, how did you get your teleportation circle to work around that?
I don't know how they achieved that.
Do you know who built it so I can talk to them?
That would be the mages. The mages. That would be the mages over at the mage quarter.
Alright.
There's a mage tower there,
Mhm.
and that is usually where Jacob lives, but he's been doing business so frequently that he ends up sleeping here.
Mm-hmm. So, alright. I don't know. Well, I suppose I should ask you the fundamental question of causality, because if I go back in time and never go on the trip to the dragon's lair, then I'll never be frozen, and I will never be unfrozen. Therefore, I will never take the actions that will cause me to come back, and so I will get frozen. So how will that work, or won't it?
As I said before, I'm not a chronomancer.
Hmm.
I deal in fate, chance, and opportunity.
Hmm.
Now, if you've come here for guidance regarding your future, your destiny, the path that you intend to walk, I can help you. But your ambitions of changing what year it is that you dwell in, that's outside of my purview.
Okay. Well, alright, since you're not going to fall for the what am I going to ask you trick, when I was living in Dran, I had a wife and 2 kids, twin boys.
Okay,
Do I have any descendants?
let me seek the cards. She will shuffle the cards, slide them out so that they make a perfect line.
Mm-hmm.
And she
Vegas
will-
dealer style?
Yes.
Okay.
You have one child, or one descendant.
Mm-hmm.
This descendant tends to get himself into trouble and has currently been being held hostage by goblins.
Where?
On the continent of Zora.
What can you tell me about him?
He has angered a hag.
Mm-hmm.
The hag, not wanting to deal with his banter, sold him off to a group of goblins to whom plan to cook him up and eat him.
Like, soon?
Soonish.
And like, how much time do I have?
Three months.
They must. That's good.
They would like to fatten him up first. He is a bit scrawny.
What's his name?
His name is Armon.
Do you spell that?
Armon. Armon.
Alright. And where is this cave specifically?
It is located near a mountain where 3 rivers flow from its belly.
And how old is he?
13.
Hmm. Yeah, I gotta do something about that. Okay. So. Alright, fortune teller. Tell me my fortune.
She hands you the deck of cards.
Mm-hmm.
She says, shuffle it 3 times,
Mm-hmm.
cut it,
Mm-hmm.
draw 3 cards, do not look at the cards, and hand them back to me.
Shuffle it 3 times.
Hello.
Shuffle 3 times. Cut it. Draw 3 cards. Don't look at them. Hand them back to you.
Thank you. These are the 3 cards that he drew. First card. Peacock. You tend to portray yourself at first glance as being more important than you are. And while that may garner you some attention that you seek, it also puts a bitter taste in other people's mouths. Perhaps you should limit the amount of conflict that your first encounter gives. And give me 1 second. Looking something up. So, as a benefit of drawing this card, you become far more attractive than before. The character's charisma is increased by 2, but the character's intelligence is decreased by 2.
Oh, crap.
The next card that he pulled is the Wanderer. You are a man outside of time and space. You are in a place where you are not supposed to be, but yet you are. I suggest that you be wary of your environment. And gather as much information as you can before you make any decisions. The benefit of the Wanderer card is as follows. One of the character's mundane magic items, possessions becomes a magical item worth 20,000 gold pieces. The DM determines which item manifests magical properties and what those properties are. So before game on Saturday, we will figure out what that is and we will stat that out.
Okay.
And I will do the paperwork so that we can share that magic item to them on Discord.
Okay.
The next card he drew, the bear. You appear to be uneasy in your environment, trying to wear a persona that you're uncomfortable with, while at the same time feeling like you should be somewhere else and always on the move. The character becomes infected with the Werebear Lycanthropy curse. Remove curse or greater restoration has no effect on removing the curse and can only be done by casting a wish spell or divine intervention.
Oh. I'll have to look that up in the monster manual then.
And because of the way I flavor, so we will be using the Grim Hollow transformation of werewolf for this, but I will let you pick what animal it is that you are aware of.
Okay.
So if it makes more sense that you're a were-eagle, okay, sure.
Well, I mean, I drew the bear, so I'm just gonna go with bear.
Bear, okay. So she looks at you and she says, to answer your question, your destiny lies here in Icemorr. Your technological marvels will help many people, and your assistance by the main group that is fighting against the Ice Queen will need you. That is your immediate destiny.
So, what technological marvels are you talking about? Because I just saw humanoid automatons, well, the sentient humanoid automatons walking around. Why do my teeth feel so sharp? Were they always like this? Is this just sort of recovering from being petrified? We'll figure it out.
They are called Warforged.
What war were they forged for?
She will go into a very deep explanation for you to understand what a Warforged is.
Alright.
And in addition, she will inform you that she was Icemorr itself, the city, was gifted these Warforged by a dragon.
Which dragon?
I don't know.
And you're a fortune teller, so for you to admit you don't know means that...
well, I can find out by consulting the spirits or looking into my crystal ball. It's just not something that I've looked into.
Okay.
Suffice it to say, the group saved a dragon, and it was part of the reward. And now they serve the city as a security force.
I see. So, I haven't created any technological marvels. I do have the power of transmutation, but that only allows me to that only allows me to create things that I'm already aware of. Because
perhaps you should look deeper into what you're capable of.
Or, I think I know what your prophecy means.
And what's that?
I should hang out a shingle. I can turn money into objects. So, if people have objects they need made, they can approach me with money.
There you go.
this is a good idea. In the meantime, I need to go talk to the prince.
Okay.
Alright. Since your fortune-telling thing is actually very impressive, is there any particular insights or rituals you want to do before I take off?
No. My services have been paid for by the city for certain people a certain amount of times. You can come to me 2 more times before you'll have to start paying me for my time.
And what does your time cost?
To have a reading like you just received is 5,000 gold pieces.
Pretty steep. But
Yes.
alright. Alright, thank you for your time.
You are welcome.
Alright.
The door will open, and as you head out, the door will gently close behind you. And you will see the prince is still waiting in the waiting room.
Let's see. I will approach him. Well, I'll approach his guards.
As you approach the guards, one of them will step forward and put his hand up like this. What can I do for you?
I'm Ort. I work with the warden. I would like to speak to the prince.
He looks over at the prince. The prince has his leg crossed. He's sitting there very chivalrously, we'll say. And he's got what looks like a newspaper in his hand he's reading.
Mm-hmm.
He moves it out of the way so he can see. Let him through.
Alright. I'll mage hand a chair over to myself and
Okay.
sit down in front of him. You are the Prince of Zoran, correct?
He will fold up the newspaper very slowly while looking at you. He will put it on his lap and then put his hands on the top of the newspaper with his hands crossed.
Mm-hmm.
You are extremely astute.
Roll to detect sarcasm?
I don't think rolling is required.
Okay. My apologies, my prince. I just got out of a reading with a fortune teller after a bottle of wine, and my head is not feeling like it usually does.
Ah. What is it that I can do for you?
Well, I need some help, or rather, I don't need some help, but a relative of mine needs some help. I'm told according to a fortune teller, I'm told she's very reliable, and she seems to be very insightful about my situation, so I'm going to go with it.
Well, she hasn't been wrong yet.
Apparently, one of my descendants, a boy by the name of Armon, has been captured by goblins and is currently in a cave under a mountain where 3 rivers flow from its belly. That's the description of the place she gave me.
Oh, that's the Hyron Pass.
Nice.
That's in central Zoram. That's orc and goblin territory.
Would it be possible for you to save him, and what would that cost me?
To save him? And he's being held by the goblins?
Yes. Apparently the story she told me is that he antagonized a hag somehow. She sold him to goblins to eat, and they're fattening him up, and they're planning to eat him in 3 months. I would like my apparent sole descendant to not be eaten.
I will send some of my Imperial Guard to fetch your descendant in return for a favor at a later date.
Not a favor now?
I don't need anything right now. However, you are on Icemorr, and that can change very quickly.
So I'm gathering. You will obviously have your favor at a later date. And I assume he has family of some sort to be returned to. Though if he's my only descendant, then he must not have biological family. He mustn't have blood relatives. Well,
Either way, we'll deal with it.
thank you very much.
He motions one of the guards over, and he switches to a different language.
Alright.
He does not know that you speak Draconic,
Okay.
but he says, return to the teleportation pad, return to Zoram, send 5 of the Imperial Guard to go fetch his descendant, and have them send word to me when it is complete. And you see one of the guards give him the salute
Mm-hmm.
and will depart very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
He'll lean back, open up his newspaper, and we'll go back to reading. And then he'll move it out of the way and go, was that everything?
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time.
Oh, you're quite welcome. He'll flip it back open so he can go back to reading.
Mm-hmm. I will head out.
Where are we going now?
So, do I know who to talk to about starting a business?
Starting a business.
Yes.
There is only one person. Well, actually, no, there's 2. There's 2 people. So, okay. Getting permission to start a business, there's only 2 people that can give you that permission.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the chairman or the warden.
And the warden is busy.
And the chairman is also not at the table.
Okay.
So that is going to be something you're going to have to role play at the table. This
Okay.
specific thing, this is just for you to kind of get
Okay.
the wheels grinding again.
Okay.
You know, because we had a month break.
Mhm.
You're going to need to organize it with the bank for funding and whatever, and then you're going to have to get permission from them. They'll do documents, and then they'll issue you a business, like a building.
All right. So, as I recall, I still have a very fair chunk of money lying around from the Dragon's Hoard.
Yes.
So I shouldn't actually need that much in the way of financing, especially since my power allows me to just turn money into things. Though if I do it too much, it might actually cause an economic crisis here because we could be run short on currency. But
Yep. I do have a full list of how much gold is circulating around the city right now. So
but if there's ships coming in and people going in and out through the
there is a constant export-import business. So it is fluctuating from time to time. Right now it's winter. Even back in Zoram. So the flow of traffic isn't as much as it is during summer and spring,
Okay.
but you know.
Alright. So I'm gonna head back to the bar.
All right, you get back to the bar, and no one is performing right now.
Okay.
There's just someone. There's a piano that has been cranked up, and there's something random playing like ding 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 ding.
It's a player piano.
Yeah, the player piano.
Oh, they have those here.
That would be the Naval that made that.
Mm-hmm.
They are the technology people.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, There isn't the dwarf is not there at this point in time. It is a dwarven female
Mm-hmm.
with bright red hair, almost like the color of a carrot,
Mm-hmm.
like bright.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello.
Hello?
Good afternoon. What can I do for you?
I'd like a very large beer I like a very large beer in the bottle, please.
In the bottle?
Yes.
In what kind of bottle?
Whatever kind of bottle I can take out of here.
Oh, I see. Well, for an extra 5 silver, you can buy one of these fine steins and travel with it.
I'll mage hand whichever one of the steins is, whichever one of the steins I like best down to the counter.
Oh, a mage, I see.
I've been known to do a magic or two.
She says, well, for the pint and the stein together is a gold piece, please.
Here you go.
Thank you very much. Do you tend to travel a lot?
I'm still working on that part. How come?
Well, we do have a modern marvel that has been created by our esteemed abjuration wizard. He created a stein of endless ale.
And how much will that set me back?
1,000 gold pieces.
No.
Well, I mean,
Can't blame you for trying, I know.
it's an unlimited source of alcohol. I mean, you know, if you change your mind.
If I change my mind and I'm in the mood for magically mass-produced beer, I will let you know.
Very well. Have a good evening.
You too.
So as you leave, you will notice that invisible dome I told you about
Mm-hmm.
flickers, like
Hmm?
catches your attention.
Armor on.
Flickers again.
I will, without spilling my beer, I will fly up to see what's going on with the dome.
You hear a massive elephant roar.
Like an elephant's trumpet, or
Yeah, like when they have. Yeah,
okay.
but it's massive. It's deep. It almost shakes the window panes.
All right, I will get airborne.
At a distance, the trees off to the eastern side of the city,
Outside of the bubble.
outside of the bubble, you see the trees like the tops of the trees, like they're just falling, and it's coming towards the city.
What the hell? All right, I am armored up. I will delimber my shield and switch my.
Can you go grab that and put that
All right.
right here to the left of that building?
Okay. Should I grab my mini as well?
Nope.
Okay.
Careful, it's not connected. I don't know how you did that.
Carefully. Like this?
Yes.
Whoa.
Told you it's not connected.
No, I got through the important part. Like this?
Yeah, I just want to make sure it's on camera.
All right, you got it?
Oh, I don't know yet. Can you move the... It's not on. It needs to go up in front of the building.
This?
No. That building up there to the left of the building. Right there.
Okay.
Forward more. Thank you. So, you see a giant mastodon, armored,
Mm-hmm.
riding with a giant riding on his back, and he has in his hand a javelin that appears to be made out of ice and lightning.
Oh, that's that could be messy.
And you see the elephant rears back on its back legs, and you hear the elephant roar again.
Mm-hmm.
And when the feet come down, it shakes the ground a little bit.
Is that what's making the bubble flicker, or how?
Yes, the bubble flickers again and then disappears. And then the snow starts to fall into the city.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where we're going to leave it.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the side roleplay with ORT. You guys have a glimpse of what is going to happen starting into the next session that's happening on Saturday. The Ice Queen's newest champion arrives at Icemorr for retribution. Stay tuned later this evening at 3. We will be right back to have our interview with Nocturne. Until then, Georgia, it was great having you. I hope you had fun. We will see you guys on the flip side